Hi guys, so this next video we're going to talk about the Excel sheet, how we are going to solve or develop this Excel sheet or this marketing model to compute uh, the prices, the discount prices over certain campaign periods. So I'm sorry that the previous video I just checked, it was about a little over 30 minutes. It's about 40 minutes, in fact. So I'm sorry. Of course, I'm sure some of you had paused the video, went, grabbed some coffee, came back. So you can do that, of course. So I hope that in the future I will stick to my style of keeping videos a bit short. But this model in particular required a lot of explanation just to make sure everyone was on the same page. Anyway, so let's see what is it that I'm doing over here. First of all, I would like to show you one little thing on the corner here. So we have 210, right? So we have 210 is the market size, and it is equal over 3 different segments. So we have 70. And then for each market size, we have 70 plus the newcomers. So it will end up being 90. And then this 90 is either buyers or non-buyers, and they are equally likely to be buyers and non-buyers. So we end up with 45. So that is the initial market size. So this is kind of market size, the number of market number of customers in these here. This is, I'm gonna keep this highlighted all in a border. So these guys here, I'm sure yours is all empty. There's nothing in here, right? So don't worry, we're gonna work on this together. So now we don't know the prices. So here the prices are 0. We don't know the prices. And in fact, we don't know we need to tell solver that the prices, the permissible prices are either 30, 40 or 50, because we know we don't want to go below 30 as a discount. I just explained that in the previous video. We want to be smart about discounts, not just to throw 70% discount or 30% discount or so on. We are going to do 30% discount, 40% discount, or price it with no discount. So we want to control the system in such a way we just are able to get either 30, 40 or 50. How do we do that? This is the trick. This is a trick for you to learn. We add a code. So we add a code for each price. 1 for 30, 2 for 40, 3 for 50. And for each of these codes, this is the price that we are going to pull out. If here, I deleted here the prices, I'm sorry, but this is a lookup table. So this lookup table says, if this code is a 3, give me the price. So that will be here a lookup table. So it's going to be a vertical lookup table. So it's going to be a lookup table. And the value that I need to look up is the code. In the code is going to be in this range, and this range is, I named it lookup, as you can see. And then I'm going to say here, give me the second column, and this is it. So now, as you can see, this is the price is 50, and for 1 the price is going to be 30, and so on. All right, if this is the code in yellow, because this code we don't know what is the price for each period. So I still don't know yet what is the price for each period, but let's keep these arbitrary here, 3, 1, and let me put 2 just for fun, right? So we can see the behavior of the system, if it's behaving correctly at different codes. So let's put it in an order. Okay, all right, just for now, before we're running the solver. So this part, I hope it's understandable. We want to control the system to give us only either 1, 2 or 3. not below 30, not over 50. So that is the constraints also. And not below 30 for the solver, not above 50. Okay, good. So now we're having the high valuation buyers, non-buyers, medium valuation buyers, non-buyers, low valuation buyers, non-buyers. These could be buyers and non-buyers based on two conditions. As you understand and you remember from the previous lecture, we had two dimensions mainly, frequency and money. If there is a surplus, they will buy. If there's no surplus, they will not buy. But right now, we're just computing the number of people in market. All right, over here in this section, we are testing whether or not they are really gonna buy these people in the market or not. Basically, these people will always gonna buy. So the high buyers are always gonna buy. Sorry. Oh, what am I doing here? Okay, something crazy happened to my Excel. The high buyers here, the high sales, please set it up as these people, because these people are always gonna buy because their valuation is the highest and this is the maximum. We're gonna constrain solver the prices to be between the minimum and the maximum. Then let's talk about the medium. So the medium here, they will buy only and only if the prices, these 45 people in the medium buyers, they only gonna buy if C8, which is the price over here, the price set up by solver, is less than or greater to 40. So this means over here the price was 50, so they're not gonna buy. None of these 45 will actually turn to buy, even though they have the intention to buy and they are ready to buy, but because the discount was not suitable for them, they will not buy. The same applies over here. But these guys, we're not going to say less than or equal, but even if you say less than or equal, the system will still work fine and solver will still work fine. But because you're a smart individual, you understand that you set up the system in such a way that there won't be any price below the minimum, which is 30. So why write less than or equal when you know for sure there is no price that is less than 30? So you just say if the price is equal to 30, which is the minimum price possible in the system, as the system been programmed this way, then they are buyers, else they are not buyers. Then give me the number of people here, which are the 45 people, otherwise give me 0. And this is why we have 2 zeros over here. So do you see the difference between this 45 over here, or this 45 over here, and this here, the medium buyers and the medium sales? The medium sales is actually the ones who are going to buy. The medium buyers are the ones who are in market and ready to buy, but maybe depending on whether there's a surplus or not. Okay, understood? I hope so. Let's now find out how do this line, we found it all setting up from the question, either being 30% here, 30% here, 40% here, or whatever percentages. You can compute that based on your easy mathematics. Now let's talk about what's going to happen next in the next period. If this is period T, what's going to happen in period T plus 1? In period T plus 1, we know that these guys over here, 50% of them are going to buy in the 1 year, right? Why is that so? This is so because the question said so. The question said there's highly likely they will change the razor in 1 or 2 years. Equally likely. Equally likely means in the next year after they purchased, these guys are gonna buy, 50% are gonna buy of them. All right. So first of all, we're gonna say these guys here in purple, 45, the high sales, who already bought, 50% of them might buy in the next year. All right, what else? Also, every year we have newcomers. and every year the newcomers are 20. But usually in a more sophisticated question, they will tell you the growth rate of newcomers will be 0.055% of the market, or will be a certain number, different numbers over the years, or the growth rate, steady growth rate, average steady growth rate of the market is 0.05. So you need to find this 5% every time of the previous market, and try to find, multiply it by the percentage or likelihood that they will be buyers and non-buyers. Always, almost here, we're going to say the buyers and non-buyers are equal. The likelihood that you're a buyer, the likelihood that you're not a buyer is equally likely to be the same. Like a head and the tail. 50% ahead, 50% the tail. 50% you will buy, will be buyer, 50% you're not buyer if you enter the market or if you're in the market. So 50% that you're gonna buy, 50% you're gonna buy also as a newcomer, 50% you're not gonna buy as a newcomer. So here, this section I think is easy to get. Now these guys who didn't buy in the previous year, this is T and this is T plus 1. In period T, these guys didn't buy, but they are in the market for a high valuation, but they are in the market. So they are going to buy in the next year because they are equally likely to buy in next year or the year after. So they will become buyers because they didn't buy this year, so they're gonna buy the next year. So they're gonna buy here the products, so they will become buyers. And this is the formulation. I would like to switch here to this formulation over here, which is the same. It is basically how many people again bought in the previous year. 50% of them will buy here, and also with the new, and the new here we put the new up top over here. I put the new for you up top over here. Do you see that? All right. So now let's explain this portion. These guys, they didn't buy in the previous years, so they're gonna buy in this year. And then we are going to also make sure if these guys, the buyers, if they actually bought here or didn't buy here, they have to subtract these actually bought or from these who didn't buy. So do you see how the formulation is? In fact, the confusion in this formulation is that over here, the author has set up this in such a way that, no, it's not confusion. It's the same actually. So it is these guys here minus these guys, and it's the same over here. So there's no confusion, but I don't know why my students were confused in the past. So over here it's the same. So these guys here minus these guys over here, the ones who bought or didn't buy. So basically we are gonna always find out how many people who are left in the market and who actually didn't buy, because these are buyers. The label is buyers, but whether they bought or not is here. So do you see why this is important? This minus this, because you might be thinking, why is this important? This is important because not all these people here are going to transfer, or we're going to move on to this, because some of them didn't buy. Do you see why we put it? This portion, you understand it already, the 50% of the newcomers and 50% of the people who already bought. But over here, these people didn't buy, but these people actually didn't buy. You know why? Because we checked 100 minus the sales, and there is a number. 100 minus 0 is 100. So they are still accumulated in the market, and they are still active in the market, but they didn't buy because there was no surplus. So this was a point that some of the students last year were struggling to understand, and I hope now you understand that this is the number of people in the market who are buyers, but only and only if there is a surplus, if the discount that I threw at that period, that I rolled out at that period, has yielded a surplus. If the discount as I put at that period did not yield a surplus for this kind of segment, they will not buy. So this 100, even though they are labeled as buyers, they actually didn't buy. So we need to find out, we need to put them in the next period. They are still there in the next period. So you can see here 45 didn't buy really, and 45 here, and there's this 90, and we have 20 people newcomers. 10 of them are also labeled as buyers. This is where we got the 100, because these 45 didn't buy and these didn't buy. They are still gonna be buyers, because this is what the question said. The non-buyers, they're gonna be buyers, equally likely to be buyers in 1 or 2 years, because the razors will only last 1 or 2 years. You already consumed it as non-buyers. You were not buying last year, so and this year. So this year you are gonna definitely buy. So over here you're gonna definitely buy. So these are newcomers here in the market, as you can see. Good. This is why we always have 10, 10, 10 here. But over here we have 70. Why is that so? 70 because we are gonna have the people who bought low sales here. The people who bought 50% will be no buyers, and 50% are buyers. Remember here what we've done? We said this portion, 50% of these guys are buyers and 50% of the newcomers are buyers, right? Same applies here. But over here, we also, the non-buyers, the other 50% will be there. Where's the other 50%? So the other 50% will be set up for the non-buyers. Do you see where is this coming from? So over here, we didn't have any buyers here. So over here, it's good because we have some people who bought. So 50% of them, which is 60 people, will be in the non-buyers, and 10 people of the 20 new will be with the non-buyers. Same applies here. It's the same formula. If we had 70 people who actually bought and they belong to the medium valuation, then 50% of them will actually not buy, and 50% will buy. We already incorporated that in the buyers, and the same applies for the new. So do you see where we're getting these numbers? This portion is exactly the same as the second portion of this over here. And the non-buyers will become buyers based on the question assumptions, the question given information. Now over here, we subtract because these guys, if they actually bought, they are not in the market for buyers anymore because they already bought. So if they actually bought, 70 minus 70 is 0. So it's always 0. But if they haven't bought, as in this case over here, for example, they haven't bought, so they are still in the market. So 100 minus 0, they will still be 100 because they didn't actually buy. So it's going to be 110, and also it's going to be 10 of the new people. So it's going to be 120. Yes, correct. And as you can see here, these guys are 0. So 50% of them, which is 0, will buy in the next period or will belong to buyers. Not 50%, in fact, all of them will belong. 100 minus 0. This is why we have the subtraction here. So I hope that now you understand this portion. Now that you understood this portion and you understood this portion here, this is basically the revenue. The revenue is the number, the sum of all these guys multiplied by the price. The number of people buying, given that the assumption is everyone will buy only one razor, times the price. And this is the revenue. And this is the total revenue over here. And the total revenue will be the sum. Let me show you. they will be the sum of all these. So I hope now you understand how we are trying to simplify all the equation or all this assumption into this model. Now let me get rid of the code over here because I want let's make sure that this is, yes, stable. Always the high price will be equal to this. So this is why it is all populated while the others aren't. Now let's set up solver. So data and solver. And over here we are going to maximize the objective, which is the total sales, total revenue, maximize the total revenue. And we want to change the code. So we want to make sure that this code is changing, but this code is basically should be given constraints. And the constraints is, it should be, first of all, not 1.32, 1.52, because then this will not work out. The price will not work out. And then the whole system will collapse. So first of all, I need to put the code as an integer, and this is how we do it. You put this, and this whole code, I named it as a code. It should be equal to integer, and the way that we do it, as you may know already, we just go here and put it as an integer. All right, so I already set up the solver. Code is equal to an integer, and the code should be between 1 and 10, 1 and 5, 1 and 3. In our case, it's 1 and 3. All right, so we don't need to set up the price maximum or minimum. You know why? Because as you can see here, if the code is set up, the price is set up, right? And now let's solve. An evolutionary solver as usual. And this is how we set up this system. So I hope, and do it again, continue and continue. I need to set up my options. Continue the third time and set it and work or run the solver minimum 2 or 3 times. I recommend running the solver for 3 times. As you can see, the solver is still running, but we can see that the solver is giving me the prices to be under discount, not under the original price here in this case. So if we throw discounts by putting the price to be equal to 40, then 30, 40, then 30. So basically, the system is telling me you could alternate, okay? And then I'm gonna run solver again, because I told you it's a good practice that we run solver 2 times or 3 times rather. So over here, we are getting revenue 34,000 almost, 37. Okay, I'm sorry for the noise. And as you can see, guys, the system is recommending for us to throw discounts, but the system did not put every time a discount of 1, the cheapest discount. Neither put the highest discount, because you might be tempted to give a discount up to 40 because you're a bit, careful with the money, I would say, or a bit reserved with the money. Let me put it for the 3rd time. So you might think, you know what, I'm going to just put it as $40 discount. If you did that, I'm going to show you now the difference. If you did that, we're going to compare the revenue. If you are a bit reserved and you say, you know what, I'm not going to throw and roll out so much of a discount for $30 instead of $40. 40 is enough. You might be thinking you're making more money, but that's not true. Also, you might be thinking, you know what, I should put it on a very low discount as $30, because then more people are gonna buy. So this also might not yield a very high revenue, and this is why you need mathematics. So this is the fun part right now. In a bit, where this is the 3rd time I am running solver. So this is the answer. Let's put it as human friendly as possible with 2 decimals. And now I'm gonna over here take this and keep it. So I'm gonna copy that and put it over here, for example, paste that, but paste the number. And I'm gonna say under varying discounts, meaning under solver. Yeah, under with solver, okay. So that is the value with solver. Okay. All right, so what if some of you said, I want all the discounts to be 1. Let's see what happens. As you can see here, you are getting this much. So this is with 1, which is always put it on the lowest discount. Look how much money you are getting. You are getting less by how much? This minus this, less by this much. How much in terms of a percentage? This over this. So this is the percentage here is by less percent. So you are losing 2.6%. So how about the solver with 2? So with 40 as a discount, because you are a little bit not comfortable with giving a lot of discounts. Look what happens. So this is the money. You might be thinking that you are making more money because you are not throwing a lot of money in the market by giving discounts. But as a matter of fact, from our solution, make sure that this is this, you are in fact losing 13.4%. So if you were a little bit generous and giving the least without knowing how to do this in mathematics, you will lose 2.6%. So it's not, marketing is about seizing an opportunity. So you haven't grabbed 2.6% of the market possible to you. All right, and this 2.6% is a good number. Look at it. It's 8,803. In terms of millions, it could be. In terms of Ks, 1,000s, it could be. So that how big the numbers could be, the 2.6%. Over here, if you don't grab, if you are very conservative, you will lose even more. You will leave on the table 13.4%. So I hope with this formulation, you will see the beauty of pricing. And this is mostly what we do with the pricing, the discounts. And the idea here is to find out these numbers by collecting data from your market, understand the valuation, and classifying it and find the average for each of these. Once you know that, then you will be able to set up the discounts correctly. And the way that we set up the discount, it was like this: 2, 1, 2, 1. So at the first throw the highest, 40. And this is like a skim pricing. This is why it's in the skim pricing chapter. First, you, of course, you roll it out as the highest. But then when you start making the skim pricing, the discounts, throwing discounts into the market or rolling out discounts, you need to roll out, first of all, the highest discount and the lowest discount, highest, lowest discount. All of them are discounts, but they vary in terms of the scale. All right, I hope that this was a very enjoyable class. This is one of the most valuable and enjoyable models that I like to work with. And I hope that you can see the importance of understanding how to set up the discounts. And maybe I will ask you to do a little bit of an exercise where we have 4 different codes. So you add 1 extra code of your choice. So this will be the assignment. I'm gonna put it here as 100 and set up the same situation here, set it up with the 100 and start all over again, like put this all together all over again, and that would be the assignment. So good luck, and I will see you again on Tuesday.